Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Wasabi Galaxy, a show where we chat about Japan culture, Japan games, and anything Japan. In this episode, we're going to be chatting about two awesome books that I have in my collection from the awesome anime Redline. If you've never seen this this film, you should definitely watch it. If you're looking for something fresh and new from Japan, this is definitely one to grab. I know it's on Amazon for like $10, so make sure to grab this thing. But why I really love this film is just because of the artwork itself. The art direction in this is very unique to Japan that I haven't seen in a very long time, and it has a lot of reminiscence of like Aeon Flux. So you can see a lot of exaggerated features, awesome perspective, and crazy camera angles. So that's why I really love it. But you've probably seen the director's work before, actually, in the Animatrix. He was the one that created the one of World Record, the one of the runner, where he's running through and coming into the real world. So that was his first directorial debut. So I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that awesome short that he made. But enough of that. Now let's take a look inside in these beautiful books. Alright, let's take a look at the Redline Super Anime album. One of the two Redline books that I simply adore. So this one's more of like the works. So a lot of stills. But my favorite part of this book is more like the concepts stuff that they came up with. But like I said, like the art style is probably one of the most unique out there, I think, for at least anime. It's very much Americanized style, using a lot of influences from comics, but it has a very unique twist to it as well. So here's some of the character profiles that they have. So you have the two sisters, very bubbly, and really reminds me a lot of the Aeon Flux style, a very exaggerated style. Long legs with giant hands, really exaggerated arms. This is actually the director here. He worked also on, like I said, an Animatrix, World Record. Here's some of the vehicle stuff. So you can see how it's still bringing in that exaggeration, but playing with the perspective to make it look that exaggerated feel. The best part is mostly near the end here, where we can see, here's some of the animation cells of the lead character here, and you can actually see the sequence of certain things appearing within anime. But here's my favorite part. It's just basically all the character sketches that he came up with. Here's JP with, I believe this was the first sketch he's ever done for JP. That was 2003. This came out I believe 4 or 5 years ago. And you can see it's very much punk rock, style, and he kind of dumbed it down just a tad. Here was another version where he dumbed it down quite a bit. And here's JP again when he's hurt. You can see how he's thought of just the cast. How does the cast gonna look like? Different poses. And the lead girl character here, how she actually looks like. And I just love the exaggeration of his style of this giant boot that just looks super unique to me. I think it's one of the most unique art directions I've seen in a very long time, and it feels very fresh compared to a lot of stuff that you see out there. Here's some of the other character designs. Guns, all these little details. Here's her with how she looks with a cap and glasses, the dog guy, and all the alien guys are pretty cool too. And you know, it doesn't look like traditional anime or manga, right? Like he uses a lot of giant shadows to create depth and contrast, and things like other animes don't really rely on that. They rely mostly on color, but most of his stuff has a lot of deep, rich blacks just to make it really dramatic. Here's some other some more designs for bikes and bad guys, parts of the ship. Here's some of the scenarios. Again, he really loves playing with that crazy perspective, like distorted perspective, and it really just adds an extra dimension to it. And there's basically some more chatter about, I wish I could read Japanese to read all this stuff. Here's like some of the earlier sketches he did, the plans, more sketches of all the different characters. And this is the man himself who's came up with the whole style and the idea for the film. So that's this book, Redline Super Anime Album. But I'm gonna show you my favorite one. This one is my favorite right here. As you can tell, it's pretty giant, like I said, and has a nice little slip cover. I'm gonna show you guys the inside. So this one's mainly the storyboards for the show, the anime. And to me, I think he's one of the greatest Japanese artists out there right now, just because of how unique his stuff is, and very fresh. Like I said, it's not your traditional style, and you can see he's very much influenced by Aeon Flux, with a lot of stuff like this exaggerated, elongated perspective is just so cool to me, at least. And he also does these weird camera angles where you just don't see things like this. You see a lot of it in like film, but not stuff like this. There's a lot of these camera angles I've seen in like even Quentin Tarantino films, where he uses different angles to show different emotions. And here's like the planning phase for the different animation cells, and usually all these, if you want to know like what all these colors means, it just basically mean the different colors that are going to be used within this cell. So they actually map all these colors to something. And here's like a crazy explosion. He does a lot of these super elaborate, explosive things within his animes and films. And like this one over here, you can tell that he watched a lot of Speed Racer growing up, because just this one over here just reminds me of just Speed Racer, coming in from back then in the 80s. It's a lot of great action scenes here. Here's how JP, when he's with his cast. And jump a little quicker here. Here's some of the other scenes in the film, and these numbers basically mean the different parts of the film. So when we started, this is the beginning, and as you're going in, you can see how it's actually changing with the story, and you can actually map these to the Blu-ray actually. Oops. And you can see like the crazy exaggeration of like the waist, and even like the perspective here, like how it's super stretched out. Here are like the pencil drawings of the animation cells. Some sexy poses here. You can see here's the original frame, and this is what the first sketch looked like for the cell. Here's one she's pretty much naked, moving her legs around, the two sisters, the twins. Jump more ahead here. So it's basically like this whole book is just going through scene by scene and breaking down like all the different variations of that scene. Here's like the color chart, so they know when what colors to use. Jump here. Like, you know, if you know your perspective, you can look at this and you go, holy shit, that is some crazy ass work just to achieve, you know, this really nice perspective. Keep going here. So I'm just gonna flip until I see, you know, some cool stuff, and I'll stop with you guys. This is, like, again, how he uses his crazy perspective and different camera angles to show different emotions. Like here you can see the camera's near her crotch, but you can see her legs are super big, and again, exaggerated arms. Just a super cool style. Like, this is probably the most exaggerated you'll probably see, where her arms are super long, her waist is super thin, and her legs are giant. I mean, her thighs are super thin. It's, yeah, super fresh. I really love his you know, animes quite a bit. Keep going here. This one's pretty cool with her again, and you can see all the different things it takes to do certain scenes of a film, and these are all the keyframes for that animation. And if you don't know what keyframes is like in every few major movements, there's usually 3 or 4 keyframes that they use to go from from one frame to the other, so they can do the in-betweens to get to that pose. So you can see that here. And here's like some of the sketch work of him refining how the effects work here. This was probably one of my favorite parts of the film, where, you know, JP and the girl are like basically edge to edge with each other, like basically becoming one, and you can see, you know, the exaggeration of, like, you know, his giant smile. Well, he's grinning here, and this part here where just the exaggeration of this perspective is just so cool. I wish more people would, you know, play around with something like this. And that's pretty much, you know, the book. Here's like some more sketches of him, JP, and the girl. Again, just the incredible art direction in this stuff is awesome. So that was the Redline, both Redline books. So that was a look at these awesome books from Redline. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I really love this director's sense of art direction and movement and framing. So having these books is awesome to have, especially, you know, for a lot of reference work. It is awesome to have. And it's nice to see some fresh and new ideas coming out of Japan, especially, you know, breaking out of the traditional anime and trying something very new and bold that, you know, very much goes against the grain of current trends in Japanese animation. So I gotta give a lot of kudos to that guy. So guys, let me know down below what you think of Redline. Have you watched the movie? What do you think of it? And what do you think of his sense of art direction and the exaggerated style? Do you guys still love, you know, that old anime style, or, you know, would you want to see some new styles coming out of Japan? Again, let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit that like button. It helps me gauge if this content is good or not. And most importantly, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me keep myself motivated to create more and more high quality content for you guys. So again, please hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.